Welcome back.
Hey, Stanley.
Yeah, George?
How'd you like your own TV show?
Hey, I got something to mail you out.
Oh, you be careful now, you hear? Before you go and say something you're going to regret for the rest of your days.
Like what? Like the wrong kid died?
Oh, no!
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of The Wrong Podcast Died. I'm Brian.
And I'm Rod.
And it is officially pumpkin spice latte white girl fall.
Welcome to Starbucks. What can we get started for you today?
Yeah. Is pumpkin spice back on the menu?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, it is.
Okay.
Halloween.
Fucking A, right.
Yeah, I guess it was last episode, but
Yeah.
this episode is even more Halloween. Well, no, because the last episode was Halloween Town. So how can a movie be more Halloween than a movie about a town that's Halloween all year round? And Halloween is in the name of the movie.
Oh, I guess this one came way before it, but...
Well, yeah. So the movie this episode is It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Seen this one before?
No, this was the first time.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know how I missed it.
So released on October 27th in 1966 on CBS, has a runtime of about 25 minutes. In this beloved animated TV special, the Peanuts gang celebrates Halloween. While the other kids go trick-or-treating and attend a Halloween party, Linus waits patiently in a pumpkin patch, hoping to be visited by the mythical figure he believes in, the Great Pumpkin. Meanwhile, Charlie Brown and his usual share of mishaps, including receiving rocks instead of candy. That was one of the funnest parts of the movie. Also forget how much Snoopy and the Red Baron story is a part of this.
It's a huge, chunk.
So approximately $76,000 was the budget for this. It was the third Peanuts special. It was followed a Charlie Brown Christmas in 65, and then there was a Charlie Brown All-Stars in 66. Just a fun Halloween film. Linus and, is it Lucy?
Linus and, Lucy, their brother and sister. And I didn't know that, though. I don't know how I didn't know this, but yeah, they're brother and sister. And
yeah, Linus wants to go to the pumpkin patch and wait for the Great Pumpkin. Lucy, of course, wants to get the gang together and go trick-or-treating. They have some pretty iconic outfits, the ghost and the witch, and I think there was a goblin, maybe?
Something like that, yeah.
So some pretty iconic outfits. And of course, Pigpen comes walking up and they're like, it's Pigpen. And he didn't think they'd know who he was, but he's covered in, that dirt look. Linus and, why can I not remember the other girl's name that he talks into going to the pumpkin patch with him?
So they're not Peppermint Patty.
No. God, I don't remember her a lot in this one. There was some characters that kind of weren't in a lot of the other ones, the characters at the party. I'm trying to think who he took into the...
You're talking about the brunette, right?
The little blonde girl that goes into the pumpkin patch with him.
Oh, that likes him.
As Finley would call him. That's his girlfriend. She's in love.
Charlie Brown, Linus, Lucy, Sally? Yeah, Sally Brown, because that's Charlie Brown's sister.
Oh, that's Charlie Brown's sister, yes. So yeah, Linus talks Charlie Brown's sister into going into the pumpkin patch to wait for the Great Pumpkin, who, if you wait, he picks one pumpkin patch, the greatest pumpkin patch in all of the United States or the world possibly, and shows up at that pumpkin patch and brings presents. But of course, as they go trick-or-treating and Charlie Brown gets a rock at every house that he goes to while the other kids are getting candy. She does ask for her brother some candy because he's in the pumpkin patch, and I think she gets some extra candy. But that's pretty much the movie, is them going trick-or-treating, Charlie Brown trying to kick the ball and it getting pulled out from underneath him.
Like usual,
even though there's a signed contract. They go to the Halloween party and he gets a pumpkin drawn on the back of his head. And the Red Baron, which you don't see the Red Baron, but you see Snoopy flying on his doghouse. He gets shot down. He goes all the way across France until he shows up at the party.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun, but it's not super long.
No. Not really.
And there is a little chunk that it's just the kids walking. So, it's that still frame of them walking over and over, recycled over and over again.
Like I said, I never seen this, but I have seen the Robot Chicken parody of this, and I fucking love that.
I should have watched that.
Oh, have you ever seen it?
Not that I remember, but I may have, yeah.
Oh, so like the Great Pumpkin does show up and eats people also.
He eats all the little kids.
Yeah, and it was like, I've seen that, but I've never seen this one, and I'm just not the same now.
No? Did you enjoy this one? I mean,
I don't know. I watched it 3 times,
we watched it twice. Yeah.
and I thought I was missing something. There was just too many different stories. I just wanted the one story. I wanted to know more about the Great Pumpkin and why the hell was Charlie Brown getting rocks every time?
No idea.
It doesn't make any sense. Why do people shit on this kid?
Well, his costume had a bunch of holes in it instead of just 2 eye holes because he messed up somehow. So he was a ghost, but he had a bunch of holes in his costume.
He's a holy ghost.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah. I mean, the voice of Charlie Brown was Peter Robbins, who was just 10 years old at the time of this.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The animation was done by Bill Melendez, who also voiced Snoopy.
Yeah, and he was a director too.
And the I Got a Rock line became an iconic moment and pop culture reference. So a lot of stuff that kind of fits into pop culture, like Linus's belief in the Great Pumpkin. You know, it's like a satire on blind faith.
Right. Also, though, when he has the argument about the Great Pumpkin with, I believe, his sister, I love the line because it holds true for everything.
There are 3 things I have learned never to discuss with people: religion, politics, and the Great Pumpkin.
And I mean, when they put this out, they weren't sure the kids would get all the references, but as an adult, I feel like kids would just watch this and enjoy the animation and the costumes and the Red Baron part. They're not going to get all of that other stuff that you and I get.
Right. And then this actually aired on broadcast television for several years from 66 to 2020. And that's when Apple TV bought it. And I guess it's only there because I had to go to my local library and get a DVD to watch.
We, of course, own several copies of this on different formats. I think I have a VHS tape of it in an orange clamshell over there. I have a DVD of it. I remember when they took it off broadcast and they were talking about taking a Charlie Brown Christmas and the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. And I think there's another Charlie Brown they play a lot. The prices on the physical media stuff skyrocketed.
Skyrocketed, yeah. Thanksgiving is the other one that they did.
The 3-pack went up to like $60 for the 3
Damn.
DVDs. We watch this every year right along with the Garfield Halloween, the Garfield Thanksgiving, the Garfield Christmas. These are staples of viewing every year in our house. And for generations, people watch this film. So I get where they would be upset and they want to watch it. And
right,
they want to have it on physical media so that if it goes away completely, they can watch it.
I don't want to pay for freaking Apple TV.
I mean, we talk about that a lot on this podcast and on I Like It Spooky. Everything's just ratcheting up and up and up. And it's bringing physical media back slowly. It's finding its place again.
So one last piece of trivia that I found was that Lucy's signature move where she pulls the football. This was supposed to be the first time it was ever animated. So it might have been shown like in the comic strip by Charles M. Schultz. Otherwise, yeah, this was the first time it was animated, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, she always pulls the football. This kind of gets you in that mood for football season because that happens.
Yeah.
And if you watch it early enough in October, you're just a few weeks into football season. Not my favorite holiday special of the Peanuts. Maybe Christmas. My favorite holiday special is not anything to do with Halloween. It's a Garfield Christmas.
Oh.
I mean, that's just my favorite one. And at some point, we will probably cover that on the podcast because it's my favorite. But the Garfield Halloween is really good. And I was lucky enough to see that in Vegas with the Jamboree a couple of years ago. If you stayed up all night, they showed that as the sun come up in the morning. And that's got Elvira in it, I believe.
I don't know. I've never seen that either.
What do you think?
Should we rate this?
Yeah, we could rate. There's not much to talk about with this one because it's 25 minutes long. And probably 12 minutes of that is the Red Baron shooting down Snoopy.
I'll go first this time because I think you have more nostalgia for this. So like I said, I watched it 3 times. I thought I was missing something because it wasn't as fun for me, but it's not horrible. I mean, I've known the Peanuts. They've been in my life since I was a kid. I've been to Knott's Berry Farm where they're the main attraction, basically. I give this a 3 out of 5 false hopes of the Great Pumpkin showing up. It's not bad. It's something that everyone should at least see once.
I'm really surprised this was a first time watch for you. You're a big Halloween fan, but
Yeah, I don't know.
just never came across it, huh?
No.
I think I will go 3.5 out of 5. We don't talk about the Great Pumpkin.
Yep.
He fell asleep in the pumpkin patch and his sister had to carry him home. It's fun, but it's like you said, and like I said, it's not our favorite Halloween movie, and it's probably not my favorite. Peanuts, even special. After we have a disc, and after this one, it went to You Won't Be Elected, Charlie Brown is, I think, the name of the short. And it's about Charlie Brown was going to run for class president, but Linus ends up running for class president. And in his final speech, he talks about, and for my final speech, I want to talk about the Great Pumpkin. And he almost loses the election on that one. So that would have been right after this one came out. So it was still fun. I mean, it's definitely a throw it on, watch it with your kids, watch it with your family. And it's 25 minutes. I mean, you can't go wrong there.
You got any info on releases?
Oh, yeah. Some physical media releases. I mean, of course, VHS throughout the 80s and 90s, several releases. On DVD, it was first released in 2000. It's included in box sets such as the Peanuts Holiday Collection. The Blu-rays released in 2008 with remastered visuals and bonus features. And the 4K was released October 2022 as part of the Peanuts Holiday Collection.
Oh, I didn't know they had a 4K.
I don't know why you would need this in 4K, but and of course the soundtrack, composed by Vincent Guaraldi, known for his jazz-infused Peanuts scores. While a full official soundtrack wasn't released until 2018, some tracks appeared on, other discs. The 2018 album, This Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown original soundtrack and recording, features the original 1966 music cues. It's available on vinyl, CD, and some streaming platforms. And actually saw it at Target the other day. They had a clear version of it.
Yeah, I've seen that.
We have the pumpkin colored one that's shaped like a pumpkin. So you put it on there and the music, of course, is on the inside and it's got kind of edges, but it's shaped like a pumpkin and it's orange.
How does that work in the record player, though?
Oh, it works fine. It's small enough that it fits like on the thing and it doesn't hit the sides or anything. Yeah. And the music's on the inside where, it wouldn't like skip or anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they didn't put like music on the stem or anything. Kind of dummies would put music on a pumpkin stem?
Who knows?
What's next?
Let's do a little this or that.
This or that? Some recommendations? Yeah, I got 6 on this episode. From 1985, Garfield's Halloween Adventure. Garfield and Odie go trick-or-treating and encounter ghost pirates. See, that's the one that I know. So the one that I saw at the Jamboree must be either an offshoot or a different special.
They probably did several.
From 1993, The Halloween Tree, animated Ray Bradbury story where kids travel through time to learn about Halloween traditions. From 2012, Room on a Broom. A kind witch and her cat make room for new animal friends on her broomstick. From 2014, this is one I actually has been on my watch list for a long time and I really need to check it out. Over the Garden Wall. 2 brothers are lost in a mysterious forest and encounter strange creatures and folklore.
I don't think I've seen that either.
Yeah. From 2005, Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
I've heard of that, but never seen it.
Oh, I love it. The duo investigates a veggie-eating monster before the annual giant vegetable competition. Wallace and Gromit is just one of the funnest things. It's stop motion, claymation.
British.
Yeah, it's British. It's just fun. And then from 2017, one of our favorites in this house because the music is amazing, Coco. A boy travels to the land of the dead to uncover his family's history during Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. We love that one. We have the soundtrack, of course, at our house that we play every so often. It's fun. I mean, we just have a blast with that one. There's a lot of Halloween stuff for kids that's fun. I seen Monster House is streaming now. Almost put that on before bed. A lot of fun stuff that you could watch if you enjoy this one.
But you know who else likes Halloween?
But they're not good for kids?
But they're not good for kids.
No?
Our podcast network, the PFPN. Let's hear from them.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal: providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
Now that we've heard from our podcast network, it's time for the news.
And on October 15th of 1966, Lyndon B. Johnson, president at that time, signs a bill creating U.S. Department of Transportation. So basically what he did with this was he merged two departments. He took the Undersecretary of Commerce for Transportation and the Federal Aviation Agency and combined them to make the Department of Transportation. And also on that day, the Black Panther Party, created by Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seals in Oakland, California, was created in 1982. That's when it ceased its operations. So on October 26th, kind of a weird military story, a U.S. aircraft carrier, Oriskany, it catches fire at the Gulf of Tonkin. 43 people died. Basically, what happened in this is that they had this big metal locker full of magnesium flares, and one of them went off, and each of these flares burns at 3,000 degrees. So they had 24 pounds of flares or something like that. Kind of crazy. The worst part, though, it was in the early morning and they were beginning their operations, but they were also fueling up with another carrier that was specified to do that. So they had to detach from that carrier quickly before they blew that one up. Get the hell out of there.
Yeah, if one flare goes up and it's in a closet, they all go up, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
There's no
Lord.
stopping that.
No.
And my last story for the October of 1966 is on the 29th. The National Organization of Women, now officially established at the organizing conference in Washington, D.C. Betty Friedan, she was the elected president. It is the largest feminist organization in the United States with around 500,000 members, and it has 550 chapters throughout all 50 states.
Still today, right?
Still today, yep.
And now they don't talk about politics, religion, or the Great Pumpkin.
It's probably a smart bet. I got for the movies of that year. So not much, but I think we talked about this one before. So we must have talked about something close to there. Probably the Planet of the Apes, I'm guessing, because the top movie was Dr. Zhivago for like several weeks. It'd be the top movie for like 4 weeks, go away, something would come, and then Zhivago would come back. So kind of crazy. But some of the other movies of that time was one called Hawaii. It was released on October 10th. It's an epic historical drama starring Julie Andrews and Max von Sydow. It was a major box office hit, and it was one of the highest grossing movies of that year. Also, a movie called Georgie Girl, which is a British romantic comedy starring Lynn Redgrave and Alan Bates. It premiered on October 17th of that year. Evidently, critical success. It earned 4 Academy Award nominations. I don't think I've heard of it.
I know. I haven't heard of Hawaii. I mean, I've heard of the state of Hawaii, but
Yeah.
not the movie. I know Elvis went to Hawaii and did some singing and surfboarding and stuff. Yeah.
Blue Hawaii.
And I don't know what kind of doctor Dr. Zhivago was, but it seems like he did well at the box office.
Hell yeah. Then the last movie, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. It was released sometime in mid-October, a musical comedy. So it was based off of a 1962 Broadway play. So yeah, not a lot going on. I mean, you don't have the big movie companies that are putting out movies every week. So,
Well, I mean, Dr. Zhivago is still a movie that people talk about all the time, I feel like. Was there any horror movies at that
yeah,
time?
I got 2. So, first one I got was Incubus. The little synopsis is on a strange island inhabited by demons and spirits, a man battles the forces of evil. The big thing about this one is it starred William fucking Shatner.
I'm the captain.
I guess it was like one of his big roles at the time. So, I mean, 1966, I think it had to be right before Star Trek, I think.
Well, he did like Kingdom of the Spiders, and he did The Devil's Reign. So this was maybe in that time period where he was doing some horror films.
And my last one is Chamber of Horrors. I'm sorry, people. Every time I say horror, it sounds like I'm saying whores.
I've started saying scary movie.
Scary movie, yeah. A one-handed madman uses various detachable devices as murder weapons to gain revenge on those he believes have wronged him. I think I need to check this out because it almost sounds like the Kentucky Fried Movie where we talked about the Bruce Lee parody where the guy keeps
changing his, interesting.
Well, what do you got for TV, Brian?
Oh, top TV this time period. I think that week there, Bonanza. And The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, tied for first that week. And then another special, Lucy in London, which premiered on October 24th, was number 3. Number 4 was The Red Skelton Show. Then The Lucy Show, the flagship episode, premiered on October 31st. Ice Follies, which was another CBS special. The Jackie Gleason Show. Green Acres.
Green Acres is the place to be. Living is the life for me.
I hear that's the place to be.
It is.
Like farm living is the life for me, something like that. Then another special, Alice Through the Looking Glass, and the Andy Griffin Show. So I think it was that time period, that month or 2 weeks, because Alice was November 6th. And of course, it talks about the TV specials. Great Pumpkin, Lucy in London. It was replacing both the Lucy Show and the Andy Griffin Show in one evening. Massive viewership, but critics didn't really like it, and they didn't like how she looked. And then Ice Follies was, I believe, just people falling down on the ice or ice skating or skiing. And then Alice Through the Looking Glass would be something to do with Alice in Wonderland.
So like Ice Follies was like American's funniest home videos.
Yeah,
before.
something like that. Yeah. The Rat Patrol, a new World War II era adventure drama on ABC, topped the season's early ratings, along with newcomers like The Lucy Show. And then NBC News program began broadcasting fully in color that month, making a major technological shift. So, it was going from black and white to color. So a big shift in the 60s on how television was viewed. And this must be like the end of the time where shows are wrapping up their seasons, because there was a lot of specials. So maybe a lot of shows that ended or got canceled. So I guess that would be what was going on.
Big change.
Yeah, big changes in the TV viewing. TV industry was way before streaming.
Before us, believe it or not.
Yeah, a couple of years before us, yeah.
So I got some of the top songs of that year.
Let's hear them.
Number 1 in the U.S., 96 Tears by in the Mysterians.
96 tears, you're gonna cry. 96 tears, you're gonna cry. Cry, cry, cry now.
Yes, his name was ? It's a question mark.
Is that like Prince in the New Generation?
Kind of, when he had his own symbol.
That's interesting.
Number 1 in the UK and the R&B charts, Reach Out and I'll Be There by the Four Tops.
That's very interesting that something would be on number 1 on the R&B charts and number 1 in the UK.
This is a big time for Motown, so Four Tops is one of those bands.
Oh, yeah.
Number 1 country was Open Up Your Heart by Buck Owens.
No idea.
I don't think I've ever heard it either.
I mean, I've heard of Buck Owens, but I've never heard that song before.
A few news stories from then. October 10th, the Beach Boys released their influential single, Good Vibrations. Good vibrations, bop, bop. Excitations, bop, bop. Good vibrations, bop. Then October 13th, Jimi Hendrix Experience rock trio debuts with their American guitarist Jimi Hendrix, with a British bassist Noel Redding and British drummer Mitch Mitchell. I hate to have that name.
Mitch Mitchell, huh?
Yeah, and they debuted in Normandy, France. Yeah.
On the shores of Normandy, huh?
Yeah. October 25th, Jimi Hendrix Experience play their first UK gig as a private showcase at the Scotch of St. James in London.
Now, I didn't know this until the other day for some odd reason. Jimi Hendrix is from Europe, right?
No, I believe he's American.
Because it sounds like he started his career over there.
Yeah.
Like across the pond.
I think it's because of the British invasion that was going on with music. There was a lot of British bands there that were big and upcoming, like the Beatles, the Stones, and I think he probably went there to get a ride on that, ride that
Kind of
wave.
immerse himself in that culture and that, wave of what was going on. But he's totally different than the Beatles or the Stones. I mean, he's just a different level than those bands or those people.
Yeah, completely. So, yeah, Jimi Hendrix was born in Seattle, Washington, where many great music artists have come from, like Nirvana, Alice in Chains,
It's interesting he ended up going over there.
Yeah. My last one for music on November 5th, and I know you're going to love this one. The Monkees scored their first Billboard #1, Last Train to Clarksville.
Take the last train to Clarksville and I'll meet you at the station. You can be here by 4:30 because I've made your reservation.
It was written by Bobby Hart and Tommy Boyce.
I do love the Monkees. You got to play the Monkees show theme now.
Hey, we're the Monkees, and people say we monkey around, but we're too busy singing to put anybody.
What do you got for sports news, Brian?
For sports, the 1966 World Series, the Baltimore Orioles sweep the Dodgers 4-0 from October 5th through the 9th. It was Baltimore's first World Series championship. Frank Robinson was the MVP. Orioles pitchers allowed only 2 runs, setting a World Series record of 33 consecutive scoreless innings. Sandy Koufax pitched Game 2, but was not at his peak because of his elbow. He had arthritis in his elbow, and he retired shortly after that. He was only 30 years old. So to think that he's still one of the best pitchers around and he only pitched into his 30s. The NBA season kicks off. It begins in mid-October. The Bulls made their debut as the NBA's newest franchise. Bill Russell is entering his 10th season with the Boston Celtics. And early in the season, the Celtics and 76ers dominate the NBA. Notre Dame, Michigan State, and Alabama were at the top of the college football rankings. This is the season that would eventually lead to the legendary Notre Dame versus Michigan State game of the century in November.
Wonder if that still holds true.
I don't know. They do it all the time. Like I said, Sandy Koufax retired. NBC secured the rights to MLB's Game of the Week and postseason play in October, overtaking CBS. Of course, all the Saturday games, the All-Star Game, the World Series, cost them $6 million annually at that time, which was a ton of money. Muhammad Ali's in the headlines because he's banned from boxing in several states due to his refusal to be drafted. And I thought about that. Is that why Jimi Hendrix went to England?
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know. I can't say for certain, but I know a lot of people are like, I ain't going there. I'm good.
Yep.
Rumors swirled about tension between the NFL commissioner, Pete Rozelle, and overs over merging the AFL and the NFL, which would be finalized 4 years later in 1970. So a lot going on in sports.
Yeah, big mergers.
Yeah, big mergers. The Dodgers getting swept, that's almost unheard of there.
I was wondering, were they in Brooklyn still, or did they move? When did they move to LA?
Oh, I think they were in LA by then.
Okay. You got any toy news?
Oh, toy news. Do I ever? In July 66, CBS acquired Creative Playthings, signaling network diversification into educational toys and media. So they're starting to make some moves here. On the top of the toy, model trains skyrocket, driven by advanced design, plastic tracks, remote control switching, station announcements, electronic cranes, real smoke, and whistles. I want a damn train now. Then there's some fabric toys. Henry Orestein reacquired Deluxe Reading Topper Toys for $49 million, restoring it to Deluxe Topper Toys. Popular products included the Dream Kitchen, a battery-operated playset, and affordable grocery store dolls. Wow. Lionel was, of course, the top producer of those trains and made $10 million that year. And they beat their pre-war expectations. So Lionel was huge during, I think, World War II. We're going to talk about that on an episode because we're covering a movie that Rod really loves. And trains come up on that one. I think Rod loves trains secretly. He's got a secret agenda here. Action Man launched in the UK in 1966 and was a licensed counterpart to Hasbro's American G.I. Joe.
Awesome.
Pedigree's Tommy gun, also produced in 66, offered a British themed alternative complete with Sterling guns and realistic uniforms. There's some Operation X rocket launcher and base defense, complete with radar, helicopters, and space figures. There's the Injector plastic toy mold factory. You can create toys and stuff. A telescope called Super Eyes, where you can look at shit in the sky and across the street and all that stuff. And the Show and Tell Barrel Monkeys was introduced in 1966.
Nice. Love monkeys.
And Etch-a-Sketch remained a top-selling toy and was the first Ohio art product heavily advertised on TV. And of course, what did everybody want? Beatles toys.
Yeah.
Beatles toys were everywhere. Oh, and though companies like Gilbert had not obtained official licensing from the company that owned the license to the Beatles. Oh, and Gilbert's last big push for toys in 1966 was the James Bond toys, including a slot car, Aston Martins, and spy gear. Just before the company went bankrupt in 1967.
Wow. I bet it'd be impossible to find some of those with for a decent price.
Yeah, and of course, some of the other toys from then were My Corgi, the 1966 Batmobile, the Monkey Mobile, and the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang car. So lots of toys, lots of sports news, lots of everything. I want to go back to 1966.
Yeah.
Play with some of them toys.
I got some births. So October 2nd was Rodney Anoa'i, also known as Yokozuna.
Oh.
He's an American pro wrestler for several companies, but big in WWF at the time. He was born in San Francisco, California, unfortunately died in 2000. Then Luke Perry, American actor from Beverly Hills 90210, and one that we know him, Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie, was born in Mansfield, Ohio on the 11th. Also on the 11th, Rikishi, Samoan American professional wrestler, born in San Francisco also. So that must have been where that Anoa'i family was from, is San Francisco. October 17th, I have to say this because I think I'm contractually obligated to say this. Doug McMillan, American businessman and CEO of Walmart, was born in Memphis, Tennessee. He's been the CEO from 2014 till now. Still going.
Boo.
You shop Walmart. Shut up. On October 19th, Jon Favreau, American actor, screenwriter, director. He was in Iron Man, Elf, Mandalorian. He directed several things in that. Was born in Queens, New York.
Hell, half them people died already, Rod. And just go right to your segment.
Well, no, not these guys. Only one, no, one died.
Luke Perry's dead.
Oh, Luke Perry. I'm sorry, 2 died. Well, let me put some out there that may have not died. Well, I'm not sure if he's dead or not, but October 25th, Perry Saturn, American professional wrestler, was born in Cleveland, Ohio. Is he still alive?
I don't know. Let's look.
I know has a lot of health problems.
According to the internet, Perry Saturn is still alive. He's 58 years old.
Yeah, not doing good from what I've heard. And my last birth, November 2nd, David Schwimmer, American actor. He was Ross Geller and Friends. Is born in Queens, New York also. A lot of births, a lot of wrestlers, like big-time wrestlers that everyone loved.
Let's get to it. 6 Feet Under with Rod.
Yeah.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
Maybe 6 feet is so far down.
And October 4th, Sherman Billingsley, he was an American bootlegger, and I've never heard of him, but there's interesting things with him. He died at 66 on that day, but this dude would buy up like pharmacies and drugstores and stuff in New York City area, and that's what he used for his bootlegging operations.
So he'd buy the abandoned buildings and then run bootlegging operations out of
Yeah,
them?
and then they'd be like fronts, but then on October 18th, probably won't have heard of this name, Elizabeth Arden. She was a U.S. cosmetics manufacturer. She founded the Red Door Salon, but that company would eventually be Revlon. She died at the age of 84, so she lived a long time.
What do you mean? I know who Elizabeth Arden is.
Really?
Yeah, I knew she had something to do with makeup. I didn't know like what company, but yeah.
And my last story for 6 Feet Under is the tragedy of Aberfan, which is a place in South Wales where 116 children and 28 adults died. What happened is that this community would have coal mining. Coal is a big source of energy, so they would pile it up in big ass piles. But the way they did this is that there was this slope and the town was down at the bottom. Then they would build all these piles way up high like idiots, and they had a heavy rainfall that year, so it just slowly would sink into the ground, and one of those piles went and just crushed parts of that town, in a school too. That's where all those children
Oh,
died. So
Jesus Christ.
horrible time.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't, God,
Yeah, you're like in a bowl, maybe? Like, so you build all the...
yeah.
Yeah, they ain't got nowhere else to keep it?
Well, it was Wells, so I mean...
No, not back in the 66, but hopefully they learn their lesson.
I had a couple just dad jokes, I guess.
That's what they always are.
Where do pumpkins live?
In the pumpkin patch?
No, in the seedy part of town.
Wow.
And my last one, this is for Tarantino fans. What's a pumpkin's favorite movie? Pulp Fiction.
Oh, Lord.
I apologize.
We'll have to get some funny jokes here. Do you eat a lot of Laffy Taffies? Do they still have jokes in those?
I will not confirm that any of my jokes come from Laffy Taffy.
But you won't deny it either. You will not confirm or deny.
Or deny, yeah.
That any of his jokes come from Laffy Taffies.
Sorry.
There's probably a pumpkin spice Laffy Taffy now, isn't there?
Ooh, I hope so.
Ew, that sounds awful. Let's go watch something. What do you want to watch?
I don't know.
What's the perfect Halloween movie for kids?
Oh, for kids. Damn, that's hard. Well, it depends on how you see it. Nightmare Before Christmas. I mean, that's a huge one. Or Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, the Halloween Tree.
The Halloween Tree, huh?
Have you seen that one?
No.
Oh, well, there we go. We already picked one movie for next year. The Halloween
right.
Tree. Maybe we'll have a guest on that episode. Maybe not.
Maybe. Maybe not. Who knows?
Maybe the Great Pumpkin will come and visit us.
From Robot Chicken.
That marks the end of our broadcast day here at The Wrong Podcast Died. Our transmission is powered by a frequency of 800 watts. We will resume our usual programming in 2 weeks. Until then, we bid you good night.